Hi, Marion Embossing here, showing you a really simple Christmas card that you can make using some of the lovely Wow products and Catherine Paula products, or any products that you've got. So first of all, I've got some Wow Superior Smooth cardstock. This is A4 and I've literally just cut it in half lengthways. I'm going to take this and fold it over on itself. And then I've got myself my 10th fold card. So that's ready to work with. I can either have it 10th fold that way or I can have it opening that way. In this instance, I'm probably going to be going, that way, 10th fold. So let me just pop that there, just one moment. And then I've also got another piece of the Superior cardstock, and that's just been cut out smaller. So I'm going to be using the Metallic Gold Rich Ultra High and the Clear Sparkle. I'm using Rouge in the Catherine Paula inks, and I'm using these lovely Ho 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 dies. So let me just get this here. I can go direct, oops, make a mess there. I can go direct to paper with this, so I can just start going down like this. I'm just getting some colour on there. I'm not bothered about this on the background because I'm gonna just clean that off with a baby wipe. And we get a nice lot of ink all over that. I quite like going darker and lighter in places because it just gives a little bit more of an interest to it. So let me just pop that lid on, grab myself a baby wipe. I've got it all over my fingers, and clean that off. Red does tend to go everywhere. Now, if I was working quick enough, I could go straight on with the Clear Sparkle, but I'm going to dry this off just a little bit. Okay, the bit on the back there, it really doesn't matter. That's just what I picked up from there. But we're going to be die cutting this, so like I say, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to be using a brayer and my Wow embossing pad, and I'm just going to get lots and lots of ink on my brayer. I'm going to get my Clear Sparkle ready, along with a piece of paper. I'll just put that to the side there a moment. And then I'm just gonna get lots and lots of ink on there. I'm just looking at it. I just done a little bit on a spare bit of paper there just to see if it had picked up that ink. Because if it was still wet, it would actually contaminate my ink pad. That's why I dried it off first. So I want to get lots and lots of ink on there. Okay. And then bring this over. Pour your Clear Sparkle on. Haven't got a lot left in this pot. This is a little tip. Instead of going all over with it, just start at the top and tap it down, and then you get a nice coverage. Okay, let's just pop that there, tip that back in the pot, and then I'm just going to start heating it from underneath. Okay, so you can see how where I went darker in places with the ink, that's kept it like that. And then I've got that lovely sparkle over the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the larger ones out in the red, and then I'm going to cut these out in the white cardstock. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Little tip, if you've got some baking paper, whenever I die cut from something I've just embossed, I would always put some baking paper on there first, in between that and the die, and then it just helps the die to not stick to this bit. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so while I was over there, so I've cut this out, so you get this bit as well. That's just your baking paper. You want to pop these little bits out. So this is my solid background piece now that's going to go on here. We're going to make this really simplistic, but I also had an idea. So these are my bits that are going to go on there, and then I was looking at this bit and I thought, actually, if I cut these again, whoops, I could layer them up on there and then do a twofer. So you get 2 cards for 1 in effect. But I'll do that a little bit later because I want to show you this one first. So let me just move all these out of the way. Give these a little flick to get all these little holes out. I should have a pokey tool somewhere, but it's worth doing that. Just lets that little pop of red and sparkle come through. I'll just speed this up for you. You could also use that bit as well. So we could have a piece of red under there or whatever colour. And before I set this down, I'm going to glue all these to it. But before I do that, I'm going to take my gold ultra high. I'm going to open this up. So I just flip it back on itself so that when I hold it like that, this is quite flat. So with my gold ultra high, I'm going to tip some into the lid, and then I'm just going to randomly sprinkle it about. I'm not going to know really what it's going to look like until I put the other bit on, and then I'm going to heat from underneath because I didn't put any ink on there. If you find that your card's warping a little bit, it's purely because of the heat. So you can actually just take like a block and just sit a block on there, obviously one that's a bit bigger than this, and then that will flatten it. It will, in its own time anyway, just go flat. So let me just, see, that's nice because it's just a nice little sprinkling. I like that. So am I going to use, I will use double-sided tape. So I'll just go ahead and stick all this down. And there we go, a really quick and simple Christmas card. I'll go ahead and do something with that, the other one. I might even do something with this one. I'll have a look. Okay, so I got 3 cards out of it all in the end. So this was the first one, and that was using the Catherine Paula Rouge. You can see how much darker it's gone by putting the Wow Clear Sparkle Embossing glitter over the top. And then this is using, what have I used? Ho 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 word die, bit obvious. And then the gold ultra high, just to give a little background. Then the bit that was cut out of, I felt like I couldn't waste that. So I've just done something very, very simple. Just laid that on there. And then I mounted the Ho 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 on that. And then this one, because I had that other piece that had come out of, I put white glitz underneath. And it's just beautiful. And then I used one of the words from the holiday one-liner sentiment stamps. So that's it. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care. Bye.